It was a seemingly ordinary afternoon when the world turned upside down. At 2:47 p.m., I heard screams that pierced through the quiet of our small townhome. These weren't the usual cries of a child's tantrum, nor the fleeting frustration of a bad day. No, these were guttural, primal wails, the kind that signal a complete collapse of everything a person holds dear. My heart raced as I realized those screams belonged to my 8-year-old daughter, Lily. I was just returning from a quick grocery run, my arms full of bags, when the sound hit me like a tidal wave. I dropped everything in the parking lot and sprinted toward our house, my mind spinning with dread. What could cause such anguish in my little girl? Inside, I found Lily in the corner of our living room, curled into herself, rocking back and forth with a ferocity that broke my heart. Her small fists pounded against her head, her body slamming into the wall with each desperate rock. Her teacher, Mrs. Martinez, was kneeling beside her, her face pale, her hands trembling as she tried to soothe Lily without success. "Where's Max?" I demanded, my eyes scanning the room for the golden retriever who was always pressed against Lily's side, her constant companion, her lifeline. Mrs. Martinez's voice cracked as she spoke, tears welling in her eyes. "That's the problem, Melissa. Your sister, Veronica, came during lunch. She said you sent her to take Max for a vet appointment. She had a key, knew his commands. I didn't think to question it." My blood turned to ice, a cold dread settling in my chest. "Veronica took Max? When?" I asked, my voice barely a whisper. 40 minutes ago, Mrs. Martinez replied. Lily's been like this ever since. Max wasn't just a pet, not just a dog who wagged his tail and chased balls in the backyard. Max was Lily's lifeline, a service dog meticulously trained for 2 years to support her autism. He was her anchor in a world that often felt like a storm of sensory overload. Max could sense a meltdown coming before it erupted, nudging Lily gently to redirect her focus. He provided deep pressure therapy, pressing his body against hers to calm her nervous system when the world became too much. He was trained to block self-harming behaviors, to guide her out of overwhelming situations, to help her navigate a reality that, to her, felt like walking on broken glass. Without Max, Lily couldn't function, not at school, not at home, not even in her own skin. He was the reason she could attend classes, sleep through the night, or simply exist in a world that was often too loud, too bright, too chaotic. The thought of Max being gone was unimaginable. My hands shook as I pulled out my phone and called Veronica. She answered on the 3rd ring, her voice casual, with the hum of traffic in the background. "Where is Max?" I demanded, trying to keep my voice steady. "Oh, hi Melissa," she said, as if we were chatting about the weather. "Don't worry, he's going to a wonderful home." My heart stopped. "What do you mean? Where's my daughter's dog?" Her next words hit like a punch to the gut. "I sold him, Melissa. This couple in Oregon paid $15,000. Can you believe it? $15,000 for a dog. That's enough for a full round of IVF." The room tilted, the world blurring around me. Behind me, Lily's screams grew louder, more desperate. She'd started hitting herself, her small hands striking her face, her arms, as Mrs. Martinez struggled to intervene without escalating the meltdown. "You sold my autistic daughter's service dog?" I whispered, my voice trembling with rage and disbelief. "He's just a dog, Melissa," Veronica replied, her tone dismissive. "You can get another one. But my fertility won't last forever. I'm 36. This is my chance." I could barely process her words. "Max is a service dog, Veronica. He's specifically trained for Lily. She can't function without him." Her response was cold, calculated. She functioned before she had him, didn't she? "Look, the buyers already have him. They're driving to Oregon now. It's done. My IVF appointment is next week, and, thanks to Max, I can finally afford it after 3 years of trying." I hung up, my hands shaking so violently I nearly dropped the phone. Max wasn't just any dog. His training cost $40,000, years of specialized work to teach him 47 specific commands tailored to Lily's unique needs. He wasn't a pet you could replace with a trip to the shelter. He was medical equipment, legally recognized as such, as vital to Lily as a wheelchair to someone who can't walk or insulin to a diabetic. And my sister had sold him for $15,000 to fund her dream of motherhood, without a thought for the child whose world depended on him. I dialed 911, my voice breaking as I spoke to the dispatcher. My daughter's medical equipment has been stolen. She's having a severe autistic meltdown and injuring herself. The dispatcher could hear Lily's screams in the background, raw and unrelenting. Medical equipment, she asked. Her service dog, I explained. My sister stole him and sold him. My daughter is autistic, and the dog is legally her medical equipment. The dispatcher's tone sharpened. We're sending units now. Stay with her. While waiting for help, I called my mother, praying she wasn't involved in this nightmare. Her response shattered that hope. Oh, honey, she said, her voice heavy with pity, not for Lily, but for Veronica. Veronica told me, I know you're upset, but she's desperate for a baby. My stomach churned. You knew? I asked, incredulous. She said she was going to ask you, my mother replied. She didn't ask, I snapped. She stole him while Lily was at school. My mother sighed. Dogs are replaceable, sweetie. Veronica's chance at motherhood isn't. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Max isn't replaceable, Mom. He's been with Lily since she was 5. He's the only reason she can go to school. He knows her needs inside and out. Behind me, Lily bit her own arm, hard enough to draw blood. Mrs. Martinez was sobbing now, trying to restrain her gently without worsening the meltdown. Lily is hurting herself, I said, my voice rising. She's bleeding because her medical support is gone. My mother's response was chilling. Veronica needs this, Melissa. A dog isn't more important than a human baby. I hung up, unable to stomach another word. The police arrived, followed closely by an ambulance. The paramedics had no choice but to sedate Lily. She'd given herself a concussion from banging her head against the wall and bitten through her lip in her distress. Officer Thompson took my statement as we followed the ambulance to the hospital, his face grim. Your sister sold a service dog for IVF money, he said, shaking his head. She knew exactly what Max meant to Lily. She's seen him work, hasn't she? I nodded. She's watched him calm Lily's meltdowns, guide her through crowded places, stop her from hurting herself. She knew. The officer's jaw tightened. Do you know who bought him? He asked. Some couple in Oregon, I replied. They're driving there now. He nodded. We'll put out an alert. Trafficking in service animals is a federal crime. While Lily lay sedated in the hospital, I went to war. I turned to the internet, posting in every service dog and autism support group I could find. Stolen service dog, Max, golden retriever, taken from autistic child, sold to a couple in Oregon. Please share. I included photos of Max in his service vest, his registration details, and videos of him performing tasks for Lily, interrupting her self-harming behaviors, providing pressure therapy during meltdowns, alerting to sensory overload before it overwhelmed her. Within an hour, the post had been shared thousands of times. Then I took it further, posting the full story on Facebook, including screenshots of Veronica's texts admitting she sold Max and my mother's messages defending her. My sister stole my autistic daughter's service dog and sold him for IVF money, I wrote. My daughter is now hospitalized from self-injury during the meltdown that followed. This is what happens when people think service dogs are just pets. The response was explosive. The autism and service dog communities rallied with a fury I'd never seen. Parents who understood the lifeline a service dog provides shared their own stories. Adults with autism described the agony of losing their support systems. Trainers explained the irreplaceable bond between a service dog and their handler, the years of training, the trust built through countless hours. Someone found Veronica's Instagram, where she'd posted a photo of herself at a fertility clinic, smiling with the caption, "Finally starting my journey to motherhood." Sometimes you have to make hard choices for your dreams. #IVF journey, #future mama. The comments tore her apart. You stole a disabled child's medical equipment for this, one user wrote. Hard choices? You traumatized a child, another added. Within 3 hours, Veronica deleted all her social media, But the internet doesn't forget. Screenshots spread like wildfire, her actions laid bare for the world to see. Then came the breakthrough. A truck driver in Northern California saw the alert and contacted authorities. He'd noticed a golden retriever at a rest stop, wearing what looked like a service vest, in the back of an Oregon-plated SUV. The dog seemed distressed, he reported. Kept trying to leave with other people, like he was looking for someone. Max was trained to find help if separated from Lily, and he was doing exactly that, trying to get back to her. State police intercepted the couple 2 hours from the Oregon border. The couple claimed they'd bought Max legally, showing Venmo receipts from Veronica. But when asked to demonstrate his service tasks, they couldn't. Their registration was clearly fake. Real service dogs in the US don't require registration, a fact any legitimate handler would know. At 11 p.m., 8 hours after he was stolen, Max was recovered, but the damage was done. Lily woke up in the hospital, disoriented and terrified, with no Max by her side. She wouldn't eat, wouldn't drink, wouldn't let anyone touch her. She retreated to corners, rocking and humming the same 3 notes over and over, her most severe distress signal. Dr. Kumar, her psychiatrist, was blunt. The trauma of losing her primary support could set her back years, she said. We're looking at possible regression in speech, self-care, all the progress she's made. When the police brought Max back at midnight, I thought it would fix everything. But trauma doesn't work that way. Lily didn't trust that Max would stay. She grabbed his fur so tightly he yelped, refusing to let go even in sleep. She stopped going to the bathroom because it meant leaving Max. She wouldn't eat unless Max ate from the same plate first, as if proving he was real. The regression was swift and devastating. She stopped using her AAC device to communicate, stopped tolerating clothing, stopped sleeping in her bed, opting instead for the floor with Max pressed against her. Veronica was arrested, facing severe charges: theft of medical equipment valued over $40,000, interstate trafficking of a service animal, conspiracy to commit fraud, and felony animal abuse. Max had injuries from being forcibly dragged from the house, bruises, and a slight limp that broke my heart. But Veronica showed no remorse. From jail, she called my mother, who then called me. Veronica says if you drop the charges, she'll use the IVF money to pay for Max's replacement, my mother said. Max can't be replaced, I shot back. He's not a broken appliance. She traumatized a disabled child. My mother's voice hardened. You're traumatizing her by pressing charges. She could go to prison. Good, I said. Someone who steals from disabled children shouldn't be a mother. My mother gasped. How can you be so cruel? She just wants to be a mother. What's cruel, I replied, is selling an autistic child's service dog. What's cruel is Lily drinking from Max's water bowl because she's so terrified of losing him again that she won't leave his side. Her world runs on routine and trust, and Veronica shattered both. The story went national. Headlines screamed, "Woman sells autistic niece's service dog for IVF money." The fertility clinic Veronica had paid contacted me, horrified, offering to refund every penny. They wanted no part of the scandal. The service dog community rallied in ways I never expected. Trainers offered free refresher courses for Max to ensure he was back in top form. Therapists specializing in autism trauma volunteered their time to help Lily. A GoFundMe for Lily's medical bills raised $80,000 in just 48 hours, a testament to the compassion of strangers. But Veronica doubled down. In a jailhouse interview with a local news station, she played the victim. I've been trying to have a baby for 3 years, she cried on camera. Melissa has a healthy child. I have nothing. I just wanted to be a mother. The interviewer didn't let her off the hook. You stole a service dog from an autistic child, he said. It's just a dog, she replied. They can get another one. He pressed further. It takes 2 years and $40,000 to train a service dog. Are you saying infertility is more important than autism? Her response was chilling. I'm saying dogs shouldn't be worth more than human babies. The interview went viral, sparking the hashtag #JustADog, which became a rallying cry for the disability community. Thousands shared stories of their service animals, the training, The bond, the life-saving work they do every day. My father, who had stayed silent through most of this, finally called. "I saw the interview," he said quietly. "I didn't know. Your mother told me Veronica was borrowing money. I didn't know about Max." I asked the question that had been burning in my chest. Would it have mattered? He paused, his voice heavy. "I want to say yes, but honestly, I probably would have said it's just a dog, too, until I saw Lily in that security footage, the aftermath. Christ, Melissa, what have we done to that baby?" He was referring to the home security footage released during the investigation. 20 minutes of Lily in absolute anguish, screaming, hitting herself, trying to claw her skin off while Mrs. Martinez fought to keep her safe. "You didn't do it, Dad," I said. "But Mom enabled it. She knew and supported it." His next words shocked me. "I'm divorcing her," he said simply. "Anyone who can watch that footage and still say it's just a dog isn't someone I can stay married to." The trial was grueling. The prosecution presented overwhelming evidence: Max's extensive training records, videos of his specific tasks, the stark contrast of Lily with and without him. They showed her medical records, the self-injuries from that horrific afternoon, the regression in speech and self-care, the new medications, the intensive therapy now required. Veronica's defense argued desperation, claiming infertility was a medical condition too. The prosecutor's response was devastating. "Infertility is indeed a medical condition," she said, "but it doesn't give you the right to steal medical equipment from disabled children." If Miss Harris needed a wheelchair for mobility, would the defendant's infertility justify stealing it? If she needed insulin for diabetes, would wanting a baby make theft acceptable? The jury deliberated for less than an hour. Guilty on all charges. Veronica was sentenced to 4 years in federal prison, the interstate trafficking charge elevating everything to federal crimes. At sentencing, she screamed at me across the courtroom. "I hope you're happy. You've destroyed my only chance at motherhood." I looked her in the eye, my voice calm but firm. "No, Veronica. You destroyed it yourself when you decided your hypothetical child mattered more than my actual one." My mother tried one last manipulation. "When Veronica gets out, she'll be 40, she said. Too old for IVF. You've stolen her chance at motherhood." I didn't flinch. She stole Lily's sense of safety. Lily checks the locks 12 times before bed. She has a GPS tracker on Max now. She hasn't let him out of her sight in 6 months. She may never recover from this trauma. My mother's final plea was pathetic. "Dogs die eventually anyway." I pointed to the door. "Get out of my house." She gasped. "I'm your mother." I shook my head. "You're a woman who values her able-bodied daughters once over her disabled granddaughter's needs. That's not a mother. That's a monster." It's been 2 years since that horrific day. Lily has made some progress, though the scars remain. She's back to using her AAC device, but not as fluently as before. She'll wear clothes again, but only specific textures that don't overwhelm her. She sleeps in her bed now, but only with Max pressed against her and 3 locks on her door. Max is 10 now, getting older, and we're training a successor service dog, introducing him to Lily slowly. It's a delicate process. She needs to trust that a new dog doesn't mean losing Max. Veronica gets out next year. She's written letters about forgiveness, about understanding, about moving forward as a family. I wrote back once. "You wanted to be a mother so badly you traumatized a child. You wanted to create life so desperately you nearly destroyed one. You don't deserve forgiveness. You deserve exactly what you got, a prison cell and a womb that will never carry children, because someone who steals from disabled kids shouldn't raise any." She hasn't written since. My father followed through with the divorce. He's in therapy, working to understand how he enabled this toxic dynamic for so long. He's earned supervised visits with Lily, slowly rebuilding trust. My mother lives alone now, posting bitter rants on Facebook about ungrateful children and how dogs have more rights than humans these days. I've blocked her, choosing to protect my daughter's peace over family ties that were never truly supportive. Last week, something extraordinary happened. We were at the park, and a little boy approached, curious about Max's service vest. In the past, Lily would have hidden, overwhelmed by the interaction. But this time, she pulled out her AAC device and typed, "Max helps me." He's not a pet. He's medical equipment. The boy's mother started to say, "Oh, he's just," but Lily interrupted, her first spoken words in months. "Not just," she said, her voice small but fierce. "Max is mine. Max stays." Those 6 words were a victory, a sign of the resilience buried beneath her trauma. She hasn't spoken since, but those words were everything. This story isn't just about a dog or a sister's betrayal. It's about a disabled child's needs being dismissed, about a family that prioritized an adult's wants over a child's survival. They wanted me to choose between a dog and my sister's dreams, but it was never about a dog versus a baby. It was about Lily's right to safety, to stability, to the medical support that allows her to navigate a world that often feels hostile. Max isn't just a dog, he never was. He's the bridge between Lily and a world that's too bright, too loud, too overwhelming. He's the reason she can face each day, the reason she's still here. The world now knows that service dogs aren't pets. They're not replaceable. They're lifelines, extensions of the people who rely on them. Anyone who says it's just a dog has never watched a child try to claw their own skin off because their world collapsed when that dog disappeared. Veronica wanted to be a mother. Instead, she became a cautionary tale, a reminder that no dream, no matter how deeply felt, justifies harming a vulnerable child. Max is still here, still working, still saving Lily every day. And Lily? She's fighting, healing, reclaiming her voice one small step at a time. If this story moves you, share it. Spread the word about the importance of service dogs, about the rights of disabled children, about the consequences of valuing potential over reality. Hug your loved ones, cherish the bonds that matter, and stand up for those who can't always stand up for themselves. Let's make sure no child ever has to endure what Lily did. Let's make sure no one ever says, "It's just a dog again." Thank you for listening to our story. Let's keep the conversation going. Comment below with your thoughts, and let's honor the incredible work of service animals everywhere. Please feel free to comment below if you liked this. Remember to like and subscribers for more.